Imagine the person you love most in the world standing beside you, the one who makes you feel safe, loved, and whole, the person who makes you think nothing bad can happen as long as we're together. But imagine suddenly, and in an instant, something does happen and takes that person from you. Now they're collapsed, unmoving, unfeeling, and gone. Imagine a pain swelling in your chest to the point of being unbearable. You decide then and there to do everything in your power to bring them back. You vow that you don't care how long it takes or what you have to do. All you know is that you have to set things right, whatever the cost to yourself or your humanity. The animated show Pantheon explores this very scenario in all of its terrible possibilities. If you haven't heard of this show before, this is your spoiler warning. I'm not going to recap it because that would take up far too much of our mutual valuable time. More importantly, it's a story that's worth experiencing on your own and unspoiled. All I'll tell you is that it's fun, trippy, and will make you freak out about AI more than you probably already are. So have at it, and I'll do the same. The ending of Pantheon stuck with me for a really long while, particularly what the heroine Maddy had to do and endure to get there. In the final season, Maddy has ascended to godhood. At one point, she stands on the sidelines with her father, David, and watches as a man is murdered right in front of them. David asks, "Shouldn't we do something?" And Maddy simply responds with, "This has to happen." After that scene, I couldn't help but think, did we just watch Maddy become the villain? By the end of that episode, it's revealed why the man had to be murdered. His death is one of many actions that have to occur so that Maddy can save the show's other hero, Caspian. She tells David that she's spent over 100,000 years running virtual simulations until she creates one that's nearly identical to hers. As soon as that happens, she'll swoop in at the moment Caspian is about to die and save him. And that's exactly what she does. She creates the perfect simulated world and saves Caspian. I should have felt triumph when that moment happened. The hero saved the day. But I didn't. Instead, I felt like I just watched helplessly as someone tortured countless virtual people countless times over until they got what they wanted. And that felt, well, bad to me. Because in the world of Pantheon, two things are made abundantly clear. First, that virtual people are people. They can feel and think and dream and love and wonder just like humans made of flesh and bone can. Secondly, the show's primary villain, Stephen Holstrum, is portrayed as evil because of how he controlled every aspect of Caspian's life from conception through his teenage years, which included premeditated parental abuse. So, if virtual people are people, and playing puppet master with people's lives is bad, then how is Maddy different from Stephen? The simplest answer is that she isn't. They both want the same thing: control over death, and in turn, control over life. That's when they'll be happy again. That's when everything will be right with the world. Granted, Stephen wanted control over his own death, whereas Maddy was only ever concerned with Caspian's. So, sure, Maddy seems like she has unselfish reasons for doing what she ends up doing. But does that matter? Do the ends justify her means? In my opinion, no, they don't. Not when I broke down what she put people through to get there. Every awful thing that happened in the show, to the characters I'd come to adore, would have to happen to them again and again and again. David even asks Maddy how many simulations she's run, and she doesn't give an answer. It's that many. The kicker to all of this is that Maddy is in a simulation herself, and it hasn't been 100,000 years since Caspian's death. It's been 42 million. This is revealed by Safeguard, an AI virus that originated on Earth but was given the freedom to explore the universe by Caspian. Safeguard tells Caspian that they wanted to thank him for his compassion by fulfilling his dying wish, to give Maddy her future. So they created a simulation and gave Maddy the opportunity to save Caspian, which is who she wanted to spend her future with. But both Maddy and Caspian reject the notion of a future together. By this point, Maddy has been a god for far too long and can't mentally switch back to being a normal human. Rather, our heroes decide to relive a time long past, when they first met and discovered the world was ending. They would rather have each other as they were than as the gods they'd become. If there's an argument that Maddy isn't the same kind of villain as Stephen, it's that decision, to give up complete control and go back to when she didn't have any. Because by then, she's realized the pointlessness of it. Having control over everyone and everything is only possible through becoming inhuman, and can only lead to misery. However, I think there's also an argument to be made that Maddy had to kill the simulation versions of herself and Caspian so that the two could relive their adventures again, and how that's its own kind of villainy, but Maddy stopped keeping her body count a long time ago, and so will I. Still, Pantheon makes a compelling point. That control is a funny thing, because the harder we grasp at it, the less likely things will turn out the way we envisioned them. Stephen loses control of Caspian, and only then does Caspian figure out the solution to Stephen's problem of death. Maddy spends tens of thousands of years holding meticulous control over her simulations, only to go back millions of years in the past. What I love about Pantheon is that from beginning to end, it encouraged me to ask ethical questions about a world that one day might resemble our own. It showed me that navigating the human heart, while a daunting task, is a completely worthwhile endeavor, not in order to control it, but to understand it and the hearts of every other person I inhabit this universe with. And I can't imagine a better way to spend my time here.